On this episode, we review our recent adventure with car camping at Fort Wilderness, Tiana's Beignets in Magic Kingdom, lunch at Beaches and Cream, and a whole lot more. Today is February 13th, 2024. This is episode 641 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and I am joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. You can also find us on TikTok at MSM Podcast. And if you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. And if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. If you were planning that next trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World, you did not get the dining reservations that you so desperately wanted, don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. And then finally, if you are getting ready for that next Disney trip and you need to go ahead and get your tickets booked, you need to get your room booked.
Or if you want to go to Italy.
Or if you want to go to Italy, if they have that at Disney.
Anywhere.
I know, but they have Italy at Disney, so you could just knock out all of them at the World Showcase, knock out all kinds of countries. But anyway, if you want to travel literally anywhere in the world, cruises, we just paid off our cruise on the Disney Magic. Go to mainstmagictravel.com, fill out a form for a free quote because our travel services are completely free to you. So this changed from a day trip review to an overnight review. What happened?
It did.
I'll let you tell the story.
Happy Valentine's to everybody out there.
Yeah.
I hope no matter what and how you celebrate, if you are, single and you get some chocolates for yourself, if you are married or even whatever
what would you do
are,
if you were did you ever do anything when you were single?
Probably.
It's been so long.
It has.
Did you ever do anything, or were you the type that'd be me and my girlfriends are gonna go out and we're gonna
probably
paint the town red?
Absolutely. And I just bought, because of work and stuff, like on Shein, I love how they have stuff. I have a black with red heart dress that I'll end up wearing on Wednesday, and
nice,
just for work to kind of it's almost like when I dress up for Halloween and I'm like, I could do everyone if I'm there, so that's what I did. But yeah, so anyways, happy Valentine's Day. And yes, this turned into an overnight trip. I wake up on Thursday and Jeremy's already out, kind of getting ready for the kids and stuff, which is very appreciative after I work and the 3 straight days that I can kind of sleep in. So I come out and he's like, "Good morning, my beautiful bride." And I look at him, I'm like, "What do you want?"
Yeah, that was your first response. What do you want?
First of all, he is a morning person, but he was way too morning-y. And I was like, I don't even have a coffee yet. Like, what the heck? And then I told him to go ahead and pay off our cruise because we could have done it the next day, but I was like, let's just get it done. So he goes, "Speaking of that, I was walking this morning and there's a tent site for $100 tonight." And I was like, oh. And what goes through my mind is like, I had so many things that I was going to try to do today. And then I was like, but do I really need to do them? So I was like, okay. So that's what happened.
Yeah. I was looking, we had planned this Friday day trip and we wanted to go down. We wanted to get beignets at Magic Kingdom because they've got them for the month.
Mm-hmm. For the soulful.
Celebrate soulfully for Black History Month and all. So we wanted to go try those out. And then I just was listening to old episodes. And I know I brought this up recently. I was listening to some old episodes of ours on our morning walk. And we had talked about Beaches and Cream. And we got to go do lunch there. And we never did. And I'm like, okay, let's stop saying we're going to do things and not do it. I booked Beaches and Cream. And I thought, we'll go down for the day. We'll make a day trip out of it. We'll hit Magic Kingdom. We'll make our
Mhm.
way over to Epcot. We'll do Beaches and Cream. We'll come home. Be great. But as I do sometimes, I started thinking, well, what if we were able to go down the night before? What if we were able to stay that night? Let me just look at the car camping, because we haven't done it since we did it the first time in July.
And it was supposed to be a lot cooler at
Mhm.
night, which I was super excited and curious.
Yeah. So I kept looking every day for the week leading up, and nothing was available. And no tent sites were available. You could have gotten premium campsites, which you could sleep in your car, but
Yeah.
you're going to be paying $160, $170.
It's
So I'm
dumb.
like, let me just keep looking. So yeah, I got up early that morning. I couldn't really sleep, and went for a little walk, and I looked it up, and there it was, $114 all in, basically.
Yeah.
So we're like, you know what? We've been big lately on content, as far as if you go to our Instagram, our TikTok, I'm posting daily videos at least once a day, and we've really been trying to get a lot more content and put it out on social media. Just everything from room tours to experiences to food to tips, things like that. And so I was like, we can really go down and get a lot of content if we just go for the night. We'll still be home by dinner time on Friday. So went ahead and got it booked. And we headed on down. You had to get your nails done Thursday morning.
Mhm.
So we headed down after. We left here just a little bit before 11 and went straight to check into Fort Wilderness. Got our site.
And thank God, it's nice, Fort Wilderness, when you leave a site, period. The main thing they literally have to do is just clean up, blow off, and spray off.
Yeah.
First they blow with the leaf blower.
Yep.
And then they spray the whole site down with
Yep.
water.
Yeah, they'll clean out
That's it.
if the grill was used, they
Yep.
will clean out any charcoal from there. Obviously, if there's trash or anything on the site, but they get them ready. It's a pretty quick
But
turnover.
I just started to say that
Very
only
quick
takes about
turnover.
10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You might could stretch it to 30.
And
So
to be honest, I feel like you have so many people there's a lot that goes into camping and bringing a camper specifically. I don't feel like there's a lot of people that are really hitting that 11 a.m. checkout time until they're leaving. They're getting up early in the morning. The night before, they're prepping stuff. They're packing up. I know my parents used to even hitch up the night before.
Mhm.
And so that in the
Mine
morning,
too.
it was just, it was raise up the supports and pull on out.
Mhm.
And so a lot of people, I feel like, leave earlier.
But then some of them kind of have that 11 o'clock and they're kind of probably even pushing
Yeah.
11:30 or so.
Or what a lot of them will
depending.
do, because they have overflow parking at Fort Wilderness, where you can, you could go if just say you didn't live far away, you didn't have a whole big, 8-hour, 10-hour trip in front of you or something. You don't have to go that far. A lot of people they'll leave their trailer up front and
Yep.
they'll still make it to a park early.
Yep.
So the turnover there, we've always had really good success with getting our campsite early, or when we
Oh, yeah.
arrive, and we were down there again, just shy of 1:00. So we went and set up. If you did not listen to the episode back in July, Rhonda, why don't you just talk a little bit about our car camping setup? Because if anybody is new since July and they have not gone back to listen to that episode, I'd love to fill them in, as right now they're going, you
What
two
the
are
heck?
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is wrong with you? You slept in your car?
So I have a 2024 runner that I bought from my girlfriend, and she was a traveling nurse, and she specifically bought it for possibly sleeping in her car. And I was like, what? And I joined a Forerunner group. We've had a Forerunner for 15 years or something like that.
Yeah. We own a 2001.
Correct. So I got in this Forerunner group and I saw a lot of people do it. And not only that, but we literally bought on Amazon a fitted mattress for it.
Air mattress.
Thank you. We also bought a window covering for like their screen, so you can roll your windows all the way down, and it keeps the bugs, it keeps things out. And then, you can also, having the windows down like that, you can put electric in there. We did learn on the first one with my 2020, I needed to turn all the lights off because the next morning somehow and we did good on this one, I learned, but the first time, unfortunately, I had a dead battery, which, security was fantastic with and jumped me and it was fine. But yeah, so we had all of this. And the one time we stayed in July, it got down to 74, I believe. 75 is the low.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, I don't know if I could do it any lower. Because we had a fan and stuff. So, but this time it was going to be, or any higher. I mean, like if it was 76, 78.
Yeah. You didn't want it
Sorry.
any warmer. 75 was about
Yeah.
the max
Yep.
of comfortable sleeping, and we slept very comfortably.
We
back in
did.
July.
Yeah.
Shockingly.
This one was going to be low with 60, which
Mm-hmm.
was super exciting.
Yeah.
So it was great. We, I do think we learned that we do want to invest in the tent when
Mhm.
when we go like a couple of nights for Jeremy, because then you can leave the back hatch open and you'll still sleep in your car.
Yeah.
You know,
But
it
you've got
just
that extra
wouldn't be
room.
completely,
I mean,
closed in.
for me, to stretch out fully and stretch my legs in the middle of the night, I had to almost sit up so I could stretch them out, or I had to just like throw them over you, almost just to have the room. But and this is,
and that would be easier for the bathroom situation.
yes, it would, because I mean, again, this is one of those where, shockingly, neither one of us had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. When
I don't know how.
I mean, when you get to an age of 44, you start to you pee several times during the night. I do, and I have water by my bed when I sleep at home all night, and I will go through sometimes at least 2 16-ounce cups of water just during the night. It's refreshing. I like it, but then I got to go to the bathroom. So I specifically am like, all right, I'm going to try. I had a bottle of water, but I'm like, I'm going to try not to drink it all night. Like, I do not want to get out of here, because we have electric cords running in through the side, the back doors.
Right.
And so to get out is it's not easy.
No.
It was not. And, if we get this tent add-on, then we have an ability to almost have like an extra room, and we could set some chairs in there. We could put our luggage in there. Like, we've got our luggage and our overnight bag. Yeah. I mean, we've got these things sitting in the front, driver and passenger seat. And so, and again, if you're listening to this thinking you're nuts, I would never do this, I don't blame you whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just something that works for us. I'm very thankful that Rhonda will follow me along on crazy ideas like this and actually enjoys it. But that's why we work very well together and have been married for quite some time now. But it's a neat option, especially for us. And we would like to do more than one night.
Yeah.
But when you think of going down, for a little over $100 and staying the night and having
not
this
on
adventure,
Disney property anymore.
Right. I mean, you can't. Yeah, you can't. Heck, I was looking off Disney property. I was looking at some of our go-tos at Flamingo Crossing, and the Town Place Suites and the places over there now. You're lucky to find them for under $200.
Right.
We used to be able to get those for $114 a night a couple years ago. So to have this option, and especially in a sense where our focus truly was on what kind of content can we get.
Right.
I'm taking lots of videos that I'll edit this week. Like, so it just made sense, but it's definitely not for everyone. But we like to share that it is an option. Yeah.
100%.
So had a blast. We'll just talk a little bit more about Fort Wilderness, because we're going to talk about it again with some food and stuff, but, I got the recreation activity calendar in front of me for February right now. And of course they've got their poolside activities. They've got afternoon crafts at the bike barn. They've got morning crafts at the bike barn. They've got a wine and wood shop that you can pay for. They've got the campfire sing-along. I don't remember there being this amount of different movies. Like, they have 5, 10, 14 different movies. They all play for only basically 2 nights. I felt like there was a lot of repeatability in the past. They've really spread it out, and they've got everything from like Remember the Titans, Up, Sleeping Beauty, The Aristocrats, Glory Road was the night that we were there. The original Cinderella, the original Little Mermaid, Cars, Princess and the Frog, Tangled, Lion King, Hidden Figures, Elemental, and Soul playing at the campfire sing-along all throughout the month.
Nice.
So as we've always said before, this, Fort Wilderness really is a staycation type area.
Oh, yeah.
Beginning March 21st, if you want to go ahead to mainstmagictravel.com now, put in a form, put in a request, because beginning March 21st, they will be able to book you the new cabins.
Oh, wow.
So I'm super interested to look at that and hopefully experience that. If you want to go to camperrentaladventures.com,
Yeah.
Main Street Magic Travel can go ahead and book your site, and then you can go to Dawn and her incredible camper rental adventure family and company,
So
and you can
great.
rent one of those fifth wheels
Yeah.
or trailers the way that we have in the past. We plan to
That
do
is
again
the,
this
that
August.
is the 100% honest way to do it.
And
Like,
here's the
so
thing.
worth
Look,
it if you have kids.
yeah, and
Even if you don't.
100%. And they have smaller ones. You could just do a couple or something. Or, I get that camping isn't for everyone, but you should give glamping a try.
Oh, 100%.
I would never tell someone, you know what, you should really give sleeping in a tent a try
No.
if you're not the type that sleeps in a tent. No,
Correct.
I would never tell you that. That takes a very specific person.
I even love that
but
the
these
kids
campers-
like already are asking.
Yeah.
Like, are we doing this?
Yeah.
I love it.
There's nothing like it. It is amazing. All right. So let's move on. So we got our site set up. We actually recorded on site.
did.
The most random episode you will ever hear if you go back to our favorite Disney couples. It was no notes, it was no planning. We just sat down, turned on the mics, and we just went for it. Yes, I've gotten many messages and texts. I know that we forgot some couples. I'm well aware.
Yeah.
So I love though that people are like, "Oh, what about this?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, that's a great one," So that's where those episodes can almost be interactive. But we got set up and we headed to Magic Kingdom.
We did.
Let's talk about Magic Kingdom, because we really had one goal of going to Magic Kingdom, which we'll get to in a minute with Tiana's Beignets.
Yes.
But we're now at 2:30 or so at
We're
least,
hungry.
and we're starving.
Yes.
And we all know that Magic Kingdom's food options aren't always the best.
Well, and we wanted honestly some kind of more quick service.
Yeah.
So I was like, Casey. So I start naming Casey's Corner.
Well, here's the thing. I'll
And-
mention real quick. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I did. $100 a night site is not only $100 a night,
Okay.
because you are now adding extra time where you have to eat, drink, play. You know what I mean? So fully understand that $100 site
yeah.
turns into, well, now we need lunch. Now we need dinner. Let's grab a drink. We all of a sudden buy merchandise.
No, we didn't.
We did buy something. What did we buy? We bought something.
Snacks.
We did buy a lot of snacks. We'll talk
We
about
didn't
that.
buy
No, we
any-
didn't buy any merchandise. Good
No.
for us.
Okay.
But that's where I was going with, is that we did not want to do a sit-down meal
Correct.
at a table service, even though there's a couple we need to knock out at Magic Kingdom.
And
because
there were
now you're going,
signs
boom.
saying.
They were begging people to get in a Diamond Horseshoe
Yeah.
and Liberty Tree.
I was shocked.
But at $50-$60 a person, maybe
Right.
you get a cocktail, you're now out. And we already knew we were doing beaches and cream. So yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead and continue with your quick service, what we were looking for.
So, anyways, Jeremy mentioned, well, we really haven't been to Pecos Bill in a very long time, and getting back to everything, and it would be literally right around the corner from Tiana's Beignets. So I was like, perfect. So I was like, you just order, whatever. So he got us the fajita platter. It is served with pork carnitas and seasoned chicken with cilantro rice, pinto beans, fajita vegetables, lettuce, tomato, sour cream, salsa, and flour tortillas for $15.49. So when you get it, you get that, but you ask for salsa and sour cream and cheese at the counter, and they'll give it to you, because they used to have the toppings bar
Yeah.
that they do not anymore.
Yeah. But you can still
Um,
basically get everything that was available at the toppings bar. You just have to request it.
Correct.
And it is no additional charge,
Correct.
which is great. Now, guacamole is an additional charge. I think it was
and you did not
$2.50.
get it for
Yeah,
me, which was a
sorry.
little sad. But anyways, he got a side of tortilla chips and queso
Mm-hmm.
for $5.49. So it was really good because we had that, and we had only 3 flour tortillas. So we each got one, and then I cut the tortilla in half, and we each had that. Well, what was super fun with this after, because we had chips, because he had queso, we just dumped everything in, because you did have quite a bit of meat still left.
It was a ton. I mean,
and rice and beans.
three tortillas is perfectly fine if one individual is eating this, but the amount of meat that came with it was never going to only fill 3 tortillas. I mean,
right,
this
you would
was
have still had.
this was a
leftover.
ridiculous amount of
Yep.
food.
Yep.
And then we basically turned it into whatever was
Little
left. We
bowl.
turned into a rice bowl.
Yep. It was great.
It was outstanding.
Yep.
If if you were looking for just say a lighter lunch, like for example, let's just say, now we split it and we ate everything.
Yes, we did.
And we had not eaten all day. Let's just say we had
Correct.
breakfast that morning. And let's just say it was me, you, and Kaylin. This could have split 3 ways. And when you add the chips and the queso for a little over $20, because you get some free ice waters, this could technically feed 3 people for a midday lunch when maybe you already ate breakfast and you know you're going just say for a sit-down dinner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
that makes sense.
I was shocked at the amount of food. And you know what? It was really good.
It was
really,
I
really
personally like the pork carnitas better.
Yeah.
Chicken's fantastic, but
Yep.
I just liked the taste and everything together. So
You know, this is one of those. I'll be honest. I don't know if we've been to Pecos Bill in the past 3 to 4 years. You know, and it's one of those that we've always recommended, we've always talked about, but we honestly didn't know if the quality and stuff was still there, and it is.
Yeah.
I mean, $15.49 for that amount of food was super impressive.
Yeah.
If you knew you were going to go here and this is what you're going to get, I'd maybe put a tortilla or 2 in your back pocket and bring it from, do your vacation grocery delivery order for your room and maybe get some tortillas and put 1 or 2 of those in your bag. Because I think this could have easily made a total of 6 fajitas, I bet.
possibly. Mm-hmm.
That's how much there was. When you add in all the veggies, and if you want to throw the pinto beans in there, I didn't know I like pinto beans. I've had refried beans. I like black beans.
Okay.
Up until about 6 years ago, I did not like beans of that sort. I didn't like black beans. I didn't like refried beans, pinto beans, any of those. I didn't like beans and chili. Now I do. You remember what Matt calls them?
No.
Tiny potatoes.
Okay.
Because they're like a little tiny potato. Like their texture and there's
That's
everything. All right. We're going to move on. We went right around the corner to Golden Outpost.
Golden Oak Outpost.
Golden Oak Outpost, which shockingly is only open from 12 to 5. And this is where they decided to feature the beignets.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think would have been super...
I think it's because it's right there by Tiana's.
Yeah, but you know what would have been really smart? Put it at the never open Aunt Polly's, I believe it is, on Tom Sawyer Island.
That would have been a headache and a half.
I know, but you get people out to Tom Sawyer's Island. It's got that beautiful dock or deck area with like rocking chair. Like that would have been a good spot to put Tiana's beignets. But why don't we go ahead and talk about her Tiana's famous beignets for $6.99
with strawberry sauce. So what we count 5?
Yeah.
And
strips.
Yeah,
they're not square like beignets.
They're not.
These aren't beignets. We'll
They're
just
not.
go right there. They're not beignets.
They're not. They are fantastic fried dough.
I would liken it more to a cronut. You know that layered cronut donut? It's that combination between a croissant and a donut. It's basically that, but deep fried. Like we're thinking of maybe doing this for our February Anyone Can Cook, where I think I would literally go buy Pillsbury Grand biscuits that have all those wonderful layers in them. And I would cut them up and I would deep fry them as opposed to baking them. And to me, that's what you got.
Yeah.
And then it had this seemed house-made strawberry sauce.
It was good.
And a ton of confectionery sugar.
Which we thought at first was going to be way too much. But it really worked really well. It was great. It's just sad. It was a great dough dessert.
Yeah. Oh, they're delicious.
Just sad that they're called Tiana's famous beignets because I wouldn't say they were, how'd you say it, man-grabbing beignets.
Yeah, they weren't beignets, but they were delicious. So like I would get them again.
I mean, I've literally had beignets from
Cafe Du Monde.
In
New Orleans.
New Orleans and the ones at Port Orleans.
Yeah.
And I mean, these just weren't. So
yeah, they were dense. Now I will say this: they were dense the way that like Cafe Du Monde is, whereas they're much lighter and airy over at Port Orleans, whether they do the Mickey beignets or whatever.
Well, I was gonna say it's not like Disney doesn't know how to do beignets; they do them
100%.
So I don't understand this, but
I don't either. If all they had done is brought the exact recipe and style over from Port Orleans, and you didn't have to make a Mickey shape, that's fine.
Right.
it would have been a home run.
100%.
But this still is a home run.
It's still good.
It's a really good
right.
dessert.
I would tell you to absolutely spend the $6.99 on them, but
100%.
just know that you're not getting
Yeah.
the Port Orleans beignets.
Yeah.
You're getting delicious fried dough.
And it is funny you mentioned, because I do remember getting them and being like, I'm going to probably choke on this sugar. There's so much of it, but it was perfect.
Yeah.
It actually was shockingly the right amount, which was crazy. So we finished up at Magic Kingdom. We really wanted to go back and kind of just relax and hang and enjoy Fort Wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
I will 100% say, now for one night, it doesn't financially probably make sense, but a golf cart is a must at Fort Wilderness.
Yeah.
It is an absolute must.
Yeah.
And we had a great site.
We did.
We had a really good site location.
Yep.
But still, like, we had to walk all the way down to the
we didn't
boats.
have
We didn't have to.
to.
We could have gotten on the bus, but then you're all that internal bus system.
We were waiting on a bus, and it unfortunately wasn't coming. And Jeremy mentioned something about walking, and I was like, I mean, I'm cool
we don't
with
mind.
it. We don't
Yeah.
mind. Because I'm also thinking I'm about to get my carb on with this beignets. So I'm like, I'm cool with walking. So we did, and and then we walked back. And it was a lot of walking,
It is
and
a lot.
that's where it was just nice if we would have had definitely a golf cart. So,
But we took the boat back.
We did.
From Magic Kingdom, and then we decided to stop in Crockett's Tavern.
yeah, actually, I was like, we were leaving Magic Kingdom kind of early, so I was like, should we go to Enchanted Rose? Should we?
Yeah, we kind of debated that.
And then we're like, well, that's going to be expensive. Let's just go back to
Yeah.
Crockett's, because we really haven't. We haven't really had everything there because
Right.
of it new being turned over.
We knocked out last time. We did the their buffalo cauliflower, or their baked cauliflower is really good.
Mhm.
They had the trio of sliders,
Mm-hmm.
which were fine.
Mm-hmm.
So we had done those last time, but we thought, at least let's go sit at the bar, let's have a drink. They had a old fashioned of the month with like
The
rosemary and all that it had, and cranberry.
Celebrate soulfully. They
Yeah.
sure did.
And then we had Victor, was from New York, our bartender, was
Mhm.
awesome. We had a great time. We hung out there for what, hour and a half or so, talking
Yeah.
to him, and then Kim, who was actually getting ready to visit St. Augustine,
Yeah.
so we were chatting with
Super
her.
Yeah, you got the Southern Citrus Twist.
Yep.
Which is Uncle Nearest 1884 small batch whiskey, lemon juice, maple syrup, and a Hella cocktail orange bitters for $17.
It's funny because
What'd
we're
you
like, well, it was very good, but it was funny. We're like, oh, Enchanted Rose, they have really expensive drinks. I don't think I realized that was $17.
Really?
And Uncle Nearest is what we tried most recently with Chuck and Amy.
Mm-hmm.
That was available
did.
at Bar
Did I try
Riva.
that?
Yeah, you tried it. There's a
Oh.
video. Go to
Mm.
TikTok and Instagram. You were not a fan. This was my favorite because you say in the video, you go, everybody else liked it. I was so hopeful, and you did not care for it. But ended up learning. It was funny. I posted that video, and a friend responded and told a story that Victor then told us as well. Uncle Nearest, his family, he was a freed slave that actually taught Jack Daniels how to make whiskey. And I just
Mhm.
thought that was the coolest
That
thing.
is
So
cool.
it was very good. Then I had the seasonal old fashioned that had the rosemary and stuff. Yeah, they were delicious. I loved it. You did lemon
Just a
drop
lemon drop
martini.
Yep.
But now it's getting a little bit later. Our fajita platter's wearing off. So we did go ahead and get something to eat. What did we get?
We got the chicken bites, and you can do your choice of buffalo garlic parmesan or a blueberry barbecue sauce, served with celery, house-made ranch, and blue cheese, with fries for $15. So we went ahead and did that, and we picked. I let Jeremy, because I was like, I think I would have gone with anything
Mhm.
at this point. But he did pick the garlic parmesan, which was really good. I think he expected, which I'm not sure how I feel about it. He expected it to be saucy,
Yeah.
where it was
It was a dry
powdery,
seasoning.
a dry
Yeah.
seasoning. But it was super good because
It
the
was very
chicken
good.
was super crispy.
Yes. Oh, that
And-
crust on the chicken was awesome.
The garlic parmesan was a good, it wasn't like it got lost.
Yeah.
It was a good punch in the face, like yummy, total taste of it. And then of course you got blue cheese and ranch. And yeah, we just had that together.
Their
I
fries
think
are outstanding.
It was.
Their fries are really
Yeah.
good.
I think I would have liked possibly the buffalo better to do the blue cheese and stuff like that, or ranch. But I don't know the blueberry barbecue.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd have had anything with that. I think I would have just eaten that.
Probably.
plain. I don't think you need a dip.
I think I had a little bit of confusion on my end, which was totally my fault because I'm reading buffalo, garlic parmesan. I think I was kind of putting them together. So when I lived in Towson, Maryland, there was a place called Bubba's Breakaway.
Okay.
And they had buffalo garlic wings with parmesan in them. And it was buffalo sauce mixed with fresh diced garlic and parmesan cheese. And they came in this Tupperware tub. And it was just filled with a dozen wings and sauce all the way to the top. So I think in my mind, I was just going back to those days because if you seriously, take garlic, put it in buffalo sauce and sprinkle Parmesan cheese in there and toss your wings in it. And it's absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I love these. They were super crispy. It was a good sized portion for us to split for $15. The fries are super outstanding. We had a great time just sitting there with Victor. And then, we wanted to check out the sing-along, but we were going to be too late for it. So we thought we'd go kind of look at the movie.
On the walking.
Yeah. So we went over to the movie area, which again, if you're going to stay at Fort Wilderness, make sure you make a night for the campfire sing-along in the movie.
So fun.
It's incredible. And we were still kind of hungry because now we've split 2 meals for the entire day. So
Jeremy was hungry.
What did we get? Hey, I only picked out 2 of the 4 snacks. You picked out the dessert ones.
So, we went over to the fire and movie, and sometimes they have things open over there, and you can get little things.
Do you remember the hot dog I ate there?
Oh yeah,
it was the pound. Wasn't it a pound hot dog? And it was smothered in so many things. I can't even remember what it was smothered. Do you remember that thing?
Now it's kind of coming back to me.
It was was that this past August when we took the kids?
But I think it was also a food truck.
Yes, it was at the food truck that they were pulling up there.
Yeah. And there was nothing, and nothing was
there was nothing to eat. There were no snacks, not even I'd eaten a hot dog, honestly.
I know, you probably would have. So anyways, we go over to the store, and we end up, he wanted some pretzels, and then we got...
Not just pretzels. Pretzels filled with peanut butter.
Well, no, you wanted pretzels, and then we saw the Disney snacks, and they had that, and there, these little bags. So with discount, pass holder discount, it was $25 for 4 little bags of snacks. It was lemon cookies, lemon burst cookies. It was
those little caramels covered in chocolate.
Yeah,
and then I got the peanut butter filled pretzels, and then a trail mix.
Right. I
love me a good trail mix. Yeah. We got some peanuts, and you've got M&Ms in there. Delicious. But yeah, so we went back, and this was just super cool. We went back. We opened the back of the 4Runner. We had our little mattress and stuff all set up. We had our cuddly little blankets. We had a comforter and all. And opened up the laptop, and we put on a movie. And we could see in the distance through the trees the fireworks going off.
Yeah, it was
from Happily
super
Ever
cool.
After.
Yeah, and it was just super cool because
it really was.
He didn't want to watch Glory Road, which Josh Lucas was in it, so I would totally watch it. But and then it was kind of cold, so it was so. And then so I saw this also on the 4Runner group. I was like, well, he had some Christmas lights with us to put around outside or whatever. Well, I actually hung them up in. And it was that's the light we had. It was so fun, and we just watched,
awesome.
and
it was a nice little romantic
stayed warm because
evening.
We kept the back open, which was super cool because it was cold enough. Thank God that I really didn't see bugs and stuff.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we just really it was warm enough, but cool enough, and yeah, it was just fantastic.
I loved it.
Fun.
It was so nice.
Such a great night for us.
Yeah, it really was. And this is something, it's hard to find spots at Fort Wilderness. They book up very far in advance. It's very hard to find a single night. And of course, when you start to get into the weekends, the prices can get up high enough that it's not worth sleeping in your car. You know what I mean? I don't want to pay $160 a night to sleep in my car.
No.
But when you get down to $114 all in,
yeah,
I'll gladly do it every time.
Yep.
And we would like to do 2 nights. We're actually going to do 2 nights. We're going to visit your brother and sister-in-law and their family. They're here for a couple months, staying up at a campsite north of Jacksonville. And so we're going to actually go and stay 2 nights with them here soon. And we will do back-to-back nights in the Forerunner. So it'll be kind of a test of, can you do 2 nights? I mean, I'm shocked. I am absolutely blown away at how comfortable that air mattress actually is.
Yeah, that is.
And I think it's one of those too where you're forced to sleep in a way that I normally wouldn't. Like, I like to sleep on my stomach. I can't in there just because of the way that things are angled. But it almost forces you to be so cozy and cuddled up that it's really enjoyable.
Yeah.
Even though I probably wouldn't do that at home.
Yeah.
You know, if I ever got that close to you in our king bed at home, you would kick me.
Probably.
But here, it's like it's okay.
And I understand. So I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was cold.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I
your
loved it. It was so
body
great.
heat's a little warmer.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
So we got a Friday morning and we got all packed up, and I changed some things last minute because originally we were going to do Magic Kingdom and it was a reservation day. Thursday was a good to go day. So we just got to go do whatever we wanted for APs. Friday, I did have a reservation in Magic Kingdom because originally that's what we were going to do and get the beignets. And so I switched it up real quick prior to 7 o'clock. I switched it to Epcot, and then I secured, of course, Cosmic Rewind.
Woo.
And we headed over to Epcot.
Yep.
We did. Well, first we rode Remy,
Mm-hmm.
and this was super cool as we walked out of Remy.
Yeah, Chuck and Cindy were from Minnesota. Hey guys. They were standing there and saw us in line, so they waited for us when we got out, and it was super nice to
said
meet
hello
y'all.
and
And thank you so much for
Yes.
saying hello. We have truly appreciated
We
it.
do very
We
much.
love
so.
that. It's so fun.
And then he had responded in the
yes.
Facebook group too about it was nice to see us. And
Yeah,
it just,
and they're unfortunately
best.
back in the cold.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I am
We had
unfortunately
beautiful
sorry because
weather.
we did. And today, Chuck,
Today's hot.
honestly, I am in shorts and a t-shirt for the first time because it is warm.
Yeah.
And but it's only warm today, tomorrow, and then it rains tomorrow, and then it drops back down. Cool for us, though. I know. Not cold. But
And we are recording Sunday. Notice we're not making any Super Bowl predictions because it did not go so well last time when we recorded the day of the playoffs, and we hoped that the Lions and Ravens were going to win. That did not go well, but yeah,
I'm sorry.
go Taylor's boyfriend. You can send me hate mail at magic@mainstmagic.com. We did stop by France Festival of the Arts booth because we wanted to try. Well, first of all, we wanted to get something we love every single festival, which is their slushie.
Yeah.
But they also have a new drink.
They did.
What all did we get?
Yeah.
And this is what l'art de la cuisine Francois
yes.
in France.
And this is your frozen French martini. So this is Grey Goose vodka, Chambord liquor, pineapple, orange, and grape juices with a lemon lime foam for $15.25. Holy flippin' moly.
They're so good.
It was so freaking good.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what the lemon lime foam was. It was a sweet, actually sweeter.
Mm-hmm.
Not what crazy tart. Until I just read it, but the whole thing was stinking amazing.
Chambord.
So good.
Chambord is so
Oh, it's so good.
good. It's
So
like a
good.
raspberry liqueur.
Mhm. It's a
I
beautiful
mean, honestly,
drink.
on its own,
Yes.
Chambord is just delicious, but it
Yes.
would get you in trouble. That's how good it is.
Oh, absolutely.
I loved it. What did you think then? We also got the elderflower liqueur cocktail. This was Saint Germain liqueur, sparkling wine, and mint. This is new this year for $13.25.
I really liked it.
You're not a champagne,
I'm
and you're not really a
not-
bubbly person.
I'm not.
As far as beverages go, you are in your actual personality in life. Quite bubbly.
Thanks. Yeah. So I love Asti.
Mm-hmm.
And if I drink a champagne, usually that's about it. It actually, I did not see the bottle, but it tasted very Asti-like.
Yeah, like a Prosecco sorts.
Yes.
Well,
And then
Asti is a Prosecco, isn't it?
I think so.
I think so too.
I think it's just the brand.
Yeah.
And watched her like pour the champagne in and then pour the liquor in. And then she did just put a mint leaf in there. So
Yeah.
that was a little funny.
You gotta smack it.
Yeah.
You gotta smack the mint. That gets all the juices and
Yeah.
the flavor out and the aroma.
So I really didn't taste that, but it was really good.
Mhm.
I liked it because we were sharing, and the French martini was almost a little too sweet on my end. So I really, really liked this. So
Yeah.
I would suggest if y'all are going to do it, and depending on the person you're with and stuff, get both of them.
Yeah.
Because like I was sharing and I'd have a sip of the French martini, but then I'd move over to the champagne and kind of like almost cleanse my palate from being.
It was a good balance.
Yeah.
Between the two of them,
Yep.
right? Because the champagne one was not overly sweet, whereas the slushy was, even though it was delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so good. And we ran into everyone this day. We got to see Greg from the Fun Addicts blog. We ran into John, our friend with Mouse Dining, and we'll announce some other stuff soon. We ran into our friend Michael as we were exiting. We saw Steve, a cast member friend. Like, it was just so funny. It was such a good day, but
It was.
we had Beaches and Cream originally at 2:20 because we
saw
thought we were.
Marcy.
Yeah, we saw Marcy. Went and saw her. She was from Bar Riva. If you ever go there. So we originally had lunch at 2:20 because we thought we had to hit Magic Kingdom in the morning.
Right.
Once everything changed, I bumped it up to 12:10.
Woo.
So we headed over to Beaches and Cream, and we have been here before. We sat at the bar last Main Street 16 Challenge, and we got some boozy desserts, and we didn't have any of the like savory regular lunch foods.
But the food looked good, so
The
we were
menu
like,
looks
we need
fine,
to sit
and
down.
I'll be honest, this is one of those places looking at the menu, I don't get it. I get the decor and the feel because it's old school diner Sunday soda shop, and it's
super cute.
amazing in there. When they bring out the kitchen sink and lights are going off, and
That's
there's
cool.
sparklers, and they're kind of like like it's such an amazing atmosphere.
Yeah, it is.
But when you get to the food, it's chili and cheese tots, it's burgers, it's grilled cheese, it's a Reuben, it's a cheddar bacon ranch chicken sandwich, a French dip sandwich.
John told us the Reuben sandwich was really good. I was gonna get that. He said the burger is actually just kind of a burger.
Yeah,
he
it's
said,
pretty standard
do not
theme
get
park.
the Impossible, which made me sad because we do like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He said the French dip was an elevated one. So Jeremy was looking at that, and he said also instead of chili cheese, or no, actually, Greg said instead of chili cheese fries or tots, ask for chili cheese fries.
Yeah.
And they will do that.
Yeah. We didn't do that.
we did not.
We were each going to get an entree, and we knew we were going to split a dessert, so we were kind of
Right.
limited in how much food we wanted to dine on,
Correct.
considering we were driving 2 hours home after
Absolutely.
that. So what did you end up opting
So
for?
they have on the side a bowl of tomato bisque. Well, usually across property, the tomato bisque has been fantastic. So I look, and they actually have a Beaches and Cream grilled cheese. So this is with creamy tomato soup. You can add bacon or ham for $5 each. Tomato soup may be substituted for the tots and French fries or fresh fruit if you want. This was $16, but I was like, ooh, I want this grilled cheese with bacon and the tomato soup. That sounds amazing. So that's what I ordered.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I liked it a lot, but it is quick service food.
Yeah.
It is not. And then Jeremy, once he pointed out, like, really, then that was a $21
After you added
meal
bacon.
because I added the bacon.
2 slices of bacon were $5, which is insane.
There are 2 different cheeses. It was a white cheese and an orange cheese in it, and then the bacon in the middle. It was cooked to me fine. Like, it was melted enough. The bacon was fantastic.
It was your Disney bacon, your good Disney bacon.
Oh, very good.
We love
Absolutely.
Disney bacon. It's the best.
Soup was thicker. I personally did not like to eat it on my own. Like, I'm super happy I did not get a bowl of tomato bisque because, and this is your side for $8. I would have been very upset because how thick it was.
Yeah.
But eating this together, the grilled cheese, every time I took a bite, I dipped it in. And because it's so thick, it stayed and did really well. And those bites together, I really just thought it elevated and liked it. Do I think it was $21 worth? No.
Yeah, you'd be hard pressed to, short of going with some sort of crazy fancy cheeses, you'd be hard pressed to find any $21 grilled cheese sandwich that would be worth the price. And
Yeah.
this is where, I talk to John weekly now, if not more,
Yeah.
retext or something. And this is one where I totally get what he says. Like, and I got the French dip. So let's talk about that and we can kind of collectively. So French dip sandwich, toasted French roll served with thinly sliced roast beef, Swiss, au jus. It's topped with crispy fried onions and then served with tots, fries, or fresh fruit. I opted to do onion rings, and that
For
was
an
$1.25 upcharge, which
Correct.
is fair. That heck of a
Fair.
lot better than $5 bacon upcharge. $1.25, I'm fine.
Right.
I enjoyed the onion rings. They had good onion flavor. They had a good crunch to them. They were a good size, a nice thick onion.
The one I got, the onion was really tiny inside.
Yeah, you can get that sometimes.
So I got more of the outside,
Yeah.
and I was like, meh. I mean, it was fine, but you had
liked them.
better ones, which was good.
The French dip was good. It was different than a traditional. I like much more of a I know this says thinly sliced roast beef. It wasn't. It was a much more of a thicker slice on the roast beef. I prefer personally something like this, like a roast beef, a medium rare roast beef you'd go get from the Publix deli, boar's head, that is like almost you can see through it. It's so thin. And the au jus was good. The roll was a little bit probably too toasty, but once you dipped it in au jus, it took that crunch away. It was nice. Again, I think both of these entrees were fabulous. Not at $20 for a French dip and $21 for a grilled cheese with soup. This, I personally would not recommend anyone go sit here and eat entrees at this price. Go to Hurricane Hannah's and just get a burger for a lot less cost, I'm sure. Go to a quick service.
Because I started to say, the only reason I would is if we were staying at Yacht or Beach Club and you were like, I don't really want to like go to Hurricane Hannah's, or I don't want, I just want to, I want to do the whole lunch and dessert like we did.
Yeah.
I would not suggest coming like we did.
That makes sense.
Like, I would not suggest like, oh, well, I mean, we were in Epcot and it was easy to walk out and do that, but I still wouldn't suggest that at all.
Yeah. I mean, we were all in before tip, correct? Or was it with tip? $57.
Some dollars, yeah.
Which, again, to me is a lot for what I consider a quick service meal. And it is a good quality quick service meal.
For two people.
Yes, for two people. If you put these in the parks at $13, and this is where I'm going to get very John selfie. If you put both of these sandwiches and the soup and all in the park at $13.49, even $15.49, the way that the fajita platter was, I think it's well worth the money and the value.
Yeah.
I'm just shocked. So we did do dessert.
Yes, we did.
And what did we did? They're very famous for this. And this is where they knock it out of the park.
Yes, they did tell us. I have a couple, probably Greg and John both said, do the No Way Jose. It is $12.50. This is a peanut butter and hot fudge delight featuring chocolate and vanilla ice cream, peanut butter and chocolate morsels, whipped cream, and a cherry. This is under their Sundays on the beach. And this came in a nice big bowl. It was very large, and it was super cute because the lady next to us, and we're sitting very close.
Yes, you were right on top of each other.
Yes, and she ordered it by herself, and it came, and she's like, "Oh gosh!" Like, I don't think she knew it was that big. I didn't know it was that big. I was glad that we were then sharing it.
I even joked at the end to our cast member and said, next time the three of us are splitting this, and she just laughed at it because it is a huge.
It was.
I mean, now here's one. $12.50 is a steal.
Yeah.
I can't believe this thing is only $12.50. Yeah. They could charge me $20 for this and I wouldn't complain.
I know.
But the $20 French dip is just too much. It just is.
I kind of agree. It was flippin-tastic,
it was
though.
So
I mean,
good.
Kind of like Jeremy says, you can't really mess up ice cream, but you can mess up putting it together. And then when you take bites, like, well, I mean, just like we've had this before, we've taken a bite and you're like, well, I didn't get really much of this, that, or this.
And this is like
every
real peanut butter.
Yes.
It's not like it's peanut butter ice cream, which I do like. I did for a while. We just don't really eat ice cream at home. We really just don't. Right. Like my parents eat it every single night.
They do.
But what I was loving at one point when we had vanilla ice cream is I would take a scoop of vanilla ice cream. I would take a scoop of just peanut butter, and then I would sprinkle some chocolate chips on it. There is something about actual peanut butter with ice cream that is so much better than peanut butter flavored ice cream. Yeah. And
It was great.
again, I think you make a very fair point that if you're staying at Yacht or Beach or maybe even Boardwalk or Swan and Dolphin, and this would be a really good, like, oh, we had a full day in the parks. We want to sit down. We don't want to go to a quick service. We want to actually sit and have a meal. This is going to be good. Just know that it's going to cost you. Family 4 is going to cost you $100 before dessert if you each get an entree.
Yep.
And
I would
that's
say,
all.
I would say though, it is 1,000% to come over.
Go for dessert.
To come for dessert.
Yep. Make yourself a reservation.
100%.
You can sit at the bar. I mean, you still need a reservation for that, but and it's they know what they've got going on there.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like anybody's going to frown if you're like, yeah, we just want to sit down and have dessert. They're
They
gonna be like,
ask you
okay.
that.
Yeah, literally. That's right. He
literally
did.
said.
He says,
said,
"Are we
"Are you
having-"
here for
Yep. That's
lunch,
right. Yep.
dessert, or both?"
He sure
and
did.
we said both.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of people.
I don't know if you caught this when the lady got it. I think you did. When the lady got it next to us in No Way Jose, she looked at him and said, "You didn't tell me how big this was."
Yeah.
And he looked at her and he goes, "You didn't ask me how big it was."
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of that
It's fun.
play.
Yeah.
Like where they're kind of like, again, not, I don't want to use the word rude, but it's not your like they'll give you a little something. I don't know I can't think of the word that I'm thinking of.
I
They'll
don't know.
give you a little
Play pushback or
that's playful. Let's say that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say give you a little rub, but I don't think that's right.
No.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's playful in a way, and it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
It
was.
I would feel better about the whole thing if our bill was $10 less, and that's not a lot of money. So that I'm not I'm not complaining. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really liked this.
It's just sad we didn't love it like. Oh my God! I'd totally come back here every time for lunch.
Right.
But
I'm kind of glad though
it's-
because we have so many other things.
I know, but it was good, and I would love to go back for another dessert for sure.
And they've got great like boozy milkshakes and stuff that we
yeah.
had last time, which one had peanut butter in it, I believe. Or you had the s'mores one, remember?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's one of those again where like I was talking to Greg and I was like, yeah, we're going to Beaches and Cream. We've never actually sat down there for like lunch, and he's like, what? Haven't you guys been here like 200 times in the past, 7 years? Yeah, we have. And guess what? We still got to do something for the first time ever.
Yep.
And that's again where, when people ask us like, why do you keep going back to Disney? One, we love it, even when we do the same things that we've done before. But two, even looking at Pecos Bill, we hadn't done that in 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
So the fact that we can go and do something that feels new again it's just awesome. So anywho, thank you all so much for listening. We truly appreciate it. And would love to hear your thoughts. I know a lot of people are huge Beaches and Cream stans.
Yes.
As they say.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we would like to hear your opinion, what you think, especially on food compared to the cost. Is it worth a value to you? Is it worth that price? If you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, of course, you get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And then both Rhonda and I would be super duper thankful if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it'll help our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.